eStar. And eStar actually staying the exact same with their 3 bans. Going to give Loken the Aphelios once again, which we don't need to point it out. Sounds like that's always a bad idea. 57% win rate right now. Yeah. Now for eStar, do they just take the Thresh right away knowing, hey, this is the Xiaoxi champion?
The pick that he's played most here in the LPL summer. Waze Graves wasn't too bad. It was his 10th game last time. This will be number 11.
It does feel like if you're eStar, if you're going to find wins, it's going to be through just going towards comfort and getting these signature champions like the Graves, like the Thresh. And I mean, even this split, Xiaoxi's played Thresh more than any other champion by far. Thresh has played at 8 games and everything else sitting at 3, Bard being one of them. But it's actually kind of funny that they take away Bard in respect to Lumao. And it's actually like these supports are just going to swap signature picks.
That's kind of cool.
That's really interesting. And Thresh was always a support that we saw paired with the Aphelios most often. The thing is, we typically see one of these 2 champions banned out these days that we don't really get to see the duo together anymore.
So Lumao's going to show us. Now, Leaks in here. This is what you expect.
It's definitely going to be jungle in this rotation, I'd say. But with Kanavi, you never know. I would say Lee Sin is obviously 2nd most played champion, so it worked last game like well enough. Obviously, you fell behind early, but still, you came out with the win. It's going to be the same.
A lot of players, have you noticed recently, a lot of players have been hovering Shyvana. Like,
so,
a lot.
I talked to you about this, I think it was a month ago, that SOFM was actually playing it a lot in solo queue. It was actually really weird, but if you guys don't know, if you go check SOFM solo queue, the other day he was actually ranked 4 in Korean server. He does a lot of weird stuff, so wasn't too out of the ordinary, but we see Rat going towards the Ezreal. This actually is first Ezreal game. I was mistaken, didn't play it the other day.
Which is kind of exciting. We've got some great Ezreal players, one in this game here.
Yeah, and now eStar are definitely more signaling that they're going to play the way JDG did last game, where it's going to be, hey, it's going to be about our support jungle duo, which is how you think of eStar, right? Wei and Xiaoxi are the standout players. They're the core of the team that eStar try to build around, and they're just going to leave Rat on his own to try to become a big mid-game threat.
But now the question is this time around, will Finn be on a supporting role once again? His Karma was banned away. That was the draft adaptation from JDG. There are both solo laners to ban from both teams running into this second phase.
I actually wonder if eStar will just blind mid here, because we do have 2 high-priority mid champions open, which is the Syndra, which, again, it's not really a fun champion, but it's something he has played twice. Or you could even go with the Zoe, which is also a bit of a takeaway from Yagao, which you just banned out his LeBlanc, you banned out the TF. With all of these mid bans, I would expect a mid pick on 4 by eStar, and that's where my head goes, Zoe or Syndra.
What's the final ban then? They take one away? No. Towards the top lane.
So JDG want Ornn.
Yes.
Or they're trying to push eStar to pick Ornn right now.
CJJ. It's kind of like what Xiaobai would do in this situation.
Well, and again, JDG are pushing for this, I think. JDG are saying, hey, we're banning this Kayle, so we want you to pick the Ornn. If not, we're going to take this. We're fine with anything you pick in the mid lane.
Does that mean Zoom wants something strong to go up against it, Lyric?
I wonder if he'll just go towards something like the Wukong, which is a matchup we've seen many times before, or he could even just do what he did last game and take the Mordekaiser once again.
Or Zoom, as he's known for, the GP.
Ooh, yes, and we have been seeing this more and more, and this has been a champion that I've just been so curious why we don't see it more in the LPL all year long, especially when we have so many like immobile champions that the Cannon Barrage is so good against, and obviously it has a ton of good lane matchups despite the fact that it's more of a scaling champion.
Yagao has a couple of options.
I've already said the 2 champions that I'd be fine seeing from either side. Like, even a Syndra here, I think would be completely fine for JDG. Them hovering something like this would signal them playing more for side lanes.
Oh god, I don't want to see that. Do you remember what I told you at the start of this year? 2019, Yagao didn't win a single game on Rise. He was 0-11. So you've got Syndra, and you know the game well, don't you? You do get paid to talk about League of Legends.
I do, and that's why Syndra, Zoe, pretty much the 2 premier champions left open through this draft. And I'd even say 2 champions that I value more than a lot of the mids that were actually banned away. JDG's comp, something that's very, I'd say, stock and standard. Like, you just have a lot of strong meta champions here in the LPL, so you're going to have a strong, you're going to have like very fluid spikes, right? You're going to have champions that come online at one item like Syndra Lee Sin that can do very well in the early stages of the game. You're going to have more of a scaling option in the Aphelios and the GB. You're going to do quite well in these skirmishes, and we do expect to see JDG play around the bottom half of the map. eStar kind of go toe-to-toe with them. We have the Zoe, who's extremely strong in these early river skirmishes. We know Bard's going to want to start roaming early as well. So we expect to see a lot of early action around Dragons and on the bottom half of the map.
Okay. Head towards the bot lane. Our observers queuing up and getting ready. Ladies and gentlemen, all I want in my life as a young farmer, I grew up cutting corn, shearing sheep, dancing, you know, Cotton-Eyed Joe with all my cousins, you know, who I, purely platonic. And we got into this phase and we said, what's missing in our lives? And we thought, I know. We need something that'll spark the bloodlust. And we thought, we can't kill each other. We should find an avenue. And then we found League of Legends. And we stopped dancing to Cotton-Eyed Joe. And we stopped going to the barn house and letting it burn. Instead, we went out there onto the rift and we said, let there be blood, for there is nothing else in the world that matters. For there is no dancing without League of Legends on our table. Let's get into Summoner's Rift as JDG show us if they can close out this series in a clean 2-0 and head towards securing first and holding up their spring reputation.
I have a question first. Was that a copy pasta, or did you actually say all that on the fly?
That was called improvisation.
Holy. I hope someone clipped that because that was amazing. Oh.
Drink of water, and away we go. And I told you, I'm a very weird person today.
I mean, you're a very weird person every day,
Yeah,
and that's what everyone who watches the LPL and has watched the LPL knows.
Just kind of exposing.
I knew that last year before I met you because I watched the LPL, and I'm like, oh,
That's true.
this guy's a pretty strange fella.
Yeah. I think Raz struggled with it sometimes. That's why he left.
Raz left because of hysterics.
Yep, that is
confirmed.
True. That is actually true.
So you guys know who to, place all your anger and hatred towards?
Mm-hmm. eStar invading again, though. And we're going to do this dance one more time. Now, with the power through the Zoe and Bard, we begin at red. But JDG might not be giving this one up.
I don't feel like this level 1 is as one-sided as you would, imagine for eStar being so confident with this invade. Ezreal, of course, very strong, very easy to just lay down all those Mystic shots, but...
Reset. So we're not going to lane yet. As the red buff resets, Rat and Shoutzy going to stick with it. Blew him out. Not sure what he started. I think it's the Flay, so a lot of damage.
Yaga went back to lane, so obviously, yep, I expect JDG to give it up at this point to where FunFun just commits. And this actually isn't that weird, right? FunFun is the player who plays for his team to where JDG obviously not wanting to give up too much. I want to see what Yagao did to his lane, so he's just going to try and push this one in, throw it to turret.
Doesn't want to threaten.
I mean, Zoe, ooh.
Actually going towards the bot side. Bit of damage onto Shoutzy. Kanavi's making his way in as well, but look at where Yagao is. Walking towards the bottom lane because Wei's doing the same. Sonic Wave dodged away from. Scatter the Weak flashed away from. And Wei could have been dead there, but escapes.
Yeah, so using that advantage he just found in the mid lane to force this flash out. And even Zoe, not a champion that likes to farm under turret, since your main way of farming is those paddle stars. It does make it a bit awkward to compete with the turret for your CS. So overall, nice adaptation by JDG. Sure, they did still lose the buff in the end, so great job by Wei to find that advantage. But good punish coming back in from JDG.
Navi going back towards the top side. His ability to vertical jungle there. Onto Zoom's Gangplank, who in 2019 spring and summer, we all remember this being his best champion. The champion you needed to fear, giving over. Zoom, an exceptional GP, has started with the Sapphire Crystal here in this lane to build towards an early Sheen with refillable potions.
Yep, so shows that he doesn't feel too much threat in the immediate laning phase. Has the confidence to get through, get that back for Sheen, come back to lane strong. And I mean, it's fine, right? We already know that maybe a gank happens early, if someone's overextended, something along those lines, but we don't expect either of these teams to play around topside, especially once we hit that level 6 mark. So right now, CJJ able to move first, forcing Kanavi back.
Searing charge, flushed away from. There you go, both junglers without flash here in the early game.
Both teams playing around their pressure as well so far, right? Earlier, JDG was using that pressure from Yagao, and now eStar using CJJ's pressure on topside to make sure they get this crab.
And so we're in a state where just to reiterate when you talked about the pick and ban, where you talked about JDG's comp being quite fluid, you also said that eStars would have the ability to match through mid and, you know, around these objectives earlier on.
It's weird because I feel like both comps are like similar enough in the like where we're going to see fights, how they want to play out the game, things along those lines. Obviously, there are small differences to where eStar do have a bit of a range advantage coming out from the Ezreal and the Zoe, and maybe their 2-item power spike will feel a bit better, right? You have the Ezreal versus the Aphelios, but I'd say the immediate early laning phase will feel a bit better for JDG, especially having that Syndra Lee Sin combo in the mid jungle and even the Thresh versus the Bard in the bot lane. And then once we get ultra late, having that Aphelios will be massive.
Bit of damage onto Loken here at the bottom side. Lumao does trade back, but crucially it is onto the 80 carry. He also luckily has the push up here in this bottom lane, so might be some good back timing for the two of them. But you talked about the ultra late game. Which way do we sway?
It's not as cut and dry, especially since we do have Ornn items coming out on the other side. And the fact that you have a Bard, there's always like this massive outplay potential. But I do like what JDG has a bit more. Again, Syndra's always going to have targets if she's able to one-shot on the side of eStar. We've already seen, you know, we've seen late game Aphelios many, many times, and we all know the kind of threat that a Gangplank can become as well. Not going to be as easy for the Gangplank in the sense that you should never really be in range to hit like good barrel combos onto Zoe or Ezreal.
Which comes back to your outranging point.
Yeah. So this is one of those games that I don't feel like is as cut and dry, but I would still favor the side of JDG, especially just leaning on the Aphelios.
Okay. I think it's a game also that I'm glad there's no Ocean Soul available, which will be starting off the Rift.
True. And this actually goes to what I was saying earlier. This game heavily depends on how Xiaoxi performs, in my opinion.
And his magical journey up to the top side. Zoom just in a corner and dead. Another nice gank to the top side in the exact same position.
Yeah, it looks great, and this is exactly what we expect from Xiaoxi too, is to be moving all around the map. And we even addressed it in Pick Ban, right? When we saw Ezreal Bard. This is what you do. You leave Ezreal to farm by himself. He's extremely safe with his E. You can pair it with your jungler, and Wei's exactly the type of jungle who takes advantage of this.
And yet again, he's destroying Kanavi in this early game. Forced out, Kanavi backs away a level down. We're really rinsing and repeating what we saw in game one. Loken's even pushing the bottom lane, this time with Lumao, as Rat pays the respect from his roaming support.
And I mean, this is obviously going to benefit JDG so much. Like, okay, sure, we got, like, Zoom went down, we get some gold into CJJ and Wei's pocket, but getting the Aphelios ahead just feels way more instrumental.
But if Wei gets up to the top side again, then we could start swaying that in eStar's favor.
The thing that's nice is you're getting the kill goad onto Wei, so he's the one who, you know, he's the jungler, he can move around the map, he can at least use that impact a lot better than CJJ would.
Hang on a minute, play, but magical journey out means absolutely nothing. And away we go.
No mana on either side, so you don't expect any solo kill shenanigans to come out.
Okay, Infernal or Cloud Soul? It does feel like a game where Soul benefit would be very much impactful on those, you know, 2-3 items, at least the time of the game, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like is actually going to sway the game, right? When we're saying, hey, it's so close, it's really going to depend on a lot of execution because we have two very skill shot-based compositions. Who can ever start stacking up these dragons early on is definitely going to be in favor come that mid-game. At least come that ultra-late game.
Yeah. Then we get to the Elder, and be like, whoever gets Elder will win.
This is also going to be a question on Rat, because we said a lot of the mid-game power coming from eStar's comp is going to be that 2-item Ezreal. And Rat is still very young, very new.
What do you think of this one, though? Magical Journey being channeled in. Now Lumao, will he sacrifice himself or Dark Passage out? Cosmic Binding lands here onto the support, but with the GP ulti, pulls Wei in, who has to flash away. Loken dodges from the troll bubble, and one ulti later, eStar wastes their time.
Yeah, overall great reaction coming out from JDG. Sure, they lose some summoners, but they don't lose any flashes. They don't lose anything too critical. Great ulti coming out from Zoom. And actually, it's eStar the ones who lose the more crucial summoners, blowing 2 flashes. And you already said, they lost a bunch of time making that play. Now Kanavi going to be able to get some vision on topside and still red buff.
Wei had to back away because he was too low. So this red buff giving over to Kanavi as to what could have been a CS lead blowing out of proportion through the jungle once again. Kanavi will lead the charge, and Lumao even able to roam, match this towards the Herald. As JDG are here first.
Yep, we already saw that Yagao had pressure in mid, right, because Fun had roamed bot, so he was able to lean quite nicely for his jungler. And it doesn't look like eStar should have any response, but they actually might go top. Zoom is pushed out pretty far.
Blue buff is being taken currently. Wei is walking in. They're still away from the said buff. As Call the Forge God being used. Zoom, the one, as you mentioned, Magical Journey brings him through. Versus 3 Zoom. Doesn't have much hope. Wei will pick him up, and JDG can't do a thing about it as Fun here for support.
Like, his wave was in a really awkward place, so I can understand why he was that far forward. But when you know the enemy team is actually right behind you, like you see them, you have vision on them, you have eyes on them. They also have a Bard. It's very perplexing
When your
decision.
team concedes River as well, right? And you, again, see the Bard.
Again, his wave was not in a good place, but still, it allows eStar to be able to take this Herald. I don't expect JDG to contest. They don't even have Cannon Barrage up. And we look at the minimap. Loken is on bot. Rat is on his way over.
What if you were Kanavi and said, let's kill someone on the way out?
I would say, Navi, please wait like 5 minutes.
Well, Kanavi has Yagao. They're going to spot him out actually with the lens. Kanavi doesn't realize he's spotted out, but maybe into the Sonic Wave. That gives him a bit of a clue. Magical Journey, the escape tool and Wave. Oh, he collateral damages out just to be safe.
It's going to be interesting to see
if
that can result in anything, but Loken 2 games in a row. Just getting free time on these turrets, being able to stack up so much gold.
Once again, 3 turret plating, taken in 10 minutes.
See, this is where I'd love to see the gold graph, right? And see the comparison between Loken and Rat. Gonna get another one.
Because all well said and done being safe as an Ezreal, but Loken is Loken, and Aphelios is an Aphelios. BF Sword will be turning into something.
Words have never been spoken.
No, they haven't.
Those are just facts.
It's gospel.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if there is a Bible of V5 out there, those words are probably there.
Yeah, they are actually.
Aphelios is Aphelios.
I mean, you are the Messiah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of offended sometimes I don't get called, maybe like a prophet, or at least give me some title. But that is not me. That's me not being humble. A scribe?
Yeah.
Why am I not a scribe?
You are the one documenting the adventure, the journey.
I think people need to go back to week 2 and see my early belief in V5.
You were one of the... You were the second one on the boat, actually.
I was on the boat. Hey. Me and you were the first 2 animals on the boat, And no, well, you were there before.
Well, let's call it an arc.
Yeah. You're Noah. Oh my God, it's your boat.
It is my boat.
You are Noah.
Yeah. All are welcome. We do not, we do not shun non-believers.
No, we don't. Just as long as you get on it before the tide of worlds, that'll sweep up all those non-believers.
You cannot get on it after V5 starts just dumpstering everyone in playoffs and regionals. Then you are not welcome.
Oh my.
Actually, I'm kidding. We are an open. We are an open. Loving.
Hang on, Noah wasn't. He said once that boat's closed, it's closed.
Well, then I'm not exactly Noah.
Well,
And
no,
you know
you
what?
have to be Noah.
eStar are exactly taking Dragon.
Are you fighting for this? I think JDG would, wouldn't they?
We have Cannon Barrage open. Called the Forge God for CJJ, though.
Going to be started off. The Death Sense is pulled on in. The box laid down. And it's going to be a trade immediately going down as Loken here dodges away from Xiaoxi's ulti. They collapse in. And for eStar losing the top side of the map, it's a 2-for-2 trade. Dragon just goes back to its place.
Remember we said these comps are very similar. They have very similar power spikes. They work in very similar ways, not to keep overusing that word, but that was the perfect example of that fight. We see the engage coming out from CJJ with the Call of the Forge God. They have some amazing burst damage coming out of Graves plus Zoe, but still the Cannon Barrage dealing so much damage. Also, Yagao able to get off a lot of his cooldowns, and you already pointed out Loken in that fight. Even trade by both sides, but look at the goal. JDG are the ones massively benefiting from the pace of the game so far.
Also benefiting from the fact that you have global pressure with a GP, right? Yeah. Where Zoom contributes to these fights, but doesn't actually have to leave lane. Just picked up 2 bits of turret plating, and a Trinity Force at 13 minutes is great timing. And it does feel like we might do this again. Zoom's on his way. Yeah,
so we have to see JDG posture to buy time. I feel like eStar don't need to feel too threatened and can probably just keep going like they are.
But CJJ's not here. The Dragon will be taken over, but Wei flashes away. Death Sentence, no connection. Poke comes through now through the Magical Journey. Wei, the only person who doesn't net his way in. And there you go. Nice from eStar. They get the objective and spawn the Cloud Salt.
And this goes back to the point that still you look at JDG's comp, right? You have either Scout of the Week or a Death Sentence coming out. So eStar don't need to feel too threatened to back off from that Drake because there's no like set engage.
Flash from Chelsea.
Oh!
And what? Kicked into the Matrix.
Yeah. Oh, God. Actually kicked into the center of terrain.
Holy
oh, wow.
Journey to the center of the Earth starring Chelsea. That was very, very real.
Not a movie he probably wants to be in, but...
He can be Dwayne the Rock. No, Kanavi's Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Kanavi is DJ, as you know his friends call him.
Are we Dwayne's friends, are we?
Not Dwayne, he's DJ.
DJ, sorry. We DJ. Kanavi's a DJ friend, I'm sure. We'll have a look again because this was just a interaction I don't think I've seen before.
No, me either. Like, yeah, that was strange. That was cool though. I'm glad that we got to see that.
Yeah. Sure how logistical it is. Yagao caught out, called the Forge God, laid it down perfectly. Nice chain of CC from eStar, and there's nothing JDG can do about it. Magical Journey over the side, but they're posturing for mid. And JDG have to look on, but Loken joining the fray.
Yeah, and that was a good pick coming out from eStar, but I feel like they might have committed too much in the sense that we have Herald coming up soon. Yagao's going to be up, you know, way before that. And now you're not going to have Call of the Forge God. You might have Tempered Fate, but that Call of the Forge God definitely is a massive tool for eStar. Oh, God, Zoom.
Zoom level 11. Remember, this is a Trinity Force with a Caulfield's Warhammer GP who flashes away. Cannon Barrage is down, but CJJ tanky enough. Not much mana in the bar. The barrel chain onto Wade does hit him quite a bit. Kanavi here as well. Onto Funfun. Ready for the kick flash, but he's gone into sleepy bye-bye mode. And he'll die with it as well. Wade almost dies himself. Zoom chunking out here on Captain GP.
And I'm just so surprised that these teams keep opting for these roles. I don't think JDG had any reason to look for that. They go for the mechanical outplay. Kanavi fails. Great flash coming out from Funfun. And this game is very LPL.
It does feel good if you're someone who missed Cotton Eye Joe for this.
Yes.
To come into what, you know, could have just been that playback 1 kill every 20 minutes until we get towards that late game or those 2-3 items as you were talking about. But no, we get the challenge here of eStar, which is nice to talk about in relation to where these teams are standing. And we get JDG, who, despite being 2k gold behind, is still getting tested. Zoom survives there, but Kanavi does not. Mid lane turret will survive, to speak of living on.
Yep, I mean, just trying to get as much DPS down as possible, but still in time to get a good reset to get back on the map, so eStar can't assert too much control. We do have Herald up currently, so I want to see if JDG play for that one. No Cannon Barrage yet, so if Zoom does elect to stay in the bot side, which you would assume he was because GP, once again, is not a champion. In a similar vein to Fiora, but obviously not as much. You don't offer too much to a fight with your presence, unless, like we pointed out, it's a team that really wants to run into you or you have a way to set up the GP, which JDG's comp really doesn't.
I just like that we always talk about setup. The GP is Kanavi, level behind and maybe caught out. Magical Journey available for Chelsea. Tempered Fate flashed away from. eStar are deep here though, but they have the support of Funfun and the Blast Cone. And so they'll manage to get out.
Still, that flash from Kanavi going to be really nice to see, so going to kind of restrict his plays onto the backline of eStar.
I'm curious if they pay for anything for the Tempered Fate though. Trouble Bubble lands into the Paddle Star combo, loom out half, but turret given. Kanavi now aggressively onto Wave, won't connect there either. And we're a minute from this ocean, sorry, what is that? Wind, cloud. Somebody didn't go to Last Airbender school.
I'm kind of surprised that with the fact that you just got Kanavi Flash, with the fact that you just chunked Loom out low, eStar wouldn't just right away turn towards taking that Rift Herald.
Okay.
That obviously signals to me that they want to play just for getting set up on this next Drake.
So back timings come in, 30 seconds. I guess it's time to take track of items here then. As teleport comes through.
I also expect CJJ just to walk down straight towards Dragon. JDG are losing on a wave on top side right now, as you can see on the minimap.
He's got the Jason Bourne glove in his hand as well. That's 2 items on the Ornn. No upgrades available yet, only level 12. But we've got an Essence Reaver on Zoom.
We've got a GLP on Funfun Stubby.
Yeah.
But yeah, an Essence Reaver on Zoom.
Okay.
That's massive. 2 items.
Almost 2 on Loken. I am tracking items because in this next fight, It does feel like there is a bit of damage here onto eStar. We might not even have to talk about that because Teleport being burnt out. Yagao in a bit of trouble, but versus 3, he'll be fine with the help of his brother Zoom. Zoom needs setup. You've said it many times before. JG are now moving into River.
Yeah, unless Lumao can hit this kind of Death Sentence. Okay, so we get nothing. I feel like we're going to look at something like a Cannon Barrage into maybe, you know, a Scatter of the Week or Death Sentence, and then allow for JDG to run in.
eStar are just backing away, though.
So, think about it. eStar, a minute and a half ago, chunked out Lumao and got Kanavi's Flash. Didn't turn towards Herald, and then we go for this setup. They apparently think, well, we actually can't fight this. Maybe they think Zoom's too strong. Maybe they're afraid of, you know, the Aphelios items right now, but they end up losing out on everything on the map for that decision they chose not to make 2 minutes ago.
And this is the team that's behind. 2,000 gold already. The Rift Herald's going to accelerate that. The Cloud Soul being built towards. And 10% cooldown reduction given crucially from that Dragon as well. When you have a Syndra whose ult, you know, the more the merrier. Same with Loken's. Ultimates that can be abused. One like GP that already has a large cooldown timer.
Oh, that's, you know, that's amazing.
Yeah.
GPs love Cloud Drakes.
Oh, yeah. And with 2 items, it's going to start hurting quite a bit. Zoom in rotation. eStar with the Bard trying to catch him out as he moves.
It looks like that eStar should be able to get this one. Zoom has no way of actually walking up this. I guess he could have Cannon Barraged the wave, but it doesn't really feel necessary. Even if you lose this turret, it doesn't translate into any tangible map pressure or like way for eStar to attack the map any further. So just going to be a bit more gold into eStar's pocket.
While we are watching a bit of turret abuse, note it's another Youmuu's Grave instead of the Black Cleaver. So seeing a squishier composition and going, hey, I don't need the Black Cleaver. Let's just run into the lethality.
I mean, that's true, right? And especially when you look at his... I mean, everyone on the side of JDG Squishy, obviously Thresh and Lee Sin will get a bit tankier, but you have 3 prime targets, and especially in the Syndra and Aphelios, who it really feels like eStar need to be able to deal with. I can understand the route eStar is going, so they're just going for Extreme Burst, which, I mean, hey, you have Zoe Graves, right? We saw what it did in one previous Dragon fight earlier on. You land a massive Paddle Star into Graves, even just a collateral damage can probably just one-shot someone like Yagao.
He's actually still doing the Black Cleaver by the looks of it. Will be the 3rd item instead, so not going off the build path completely.
It's a cheaper item, right? It's a bit of a quicker power spike, so at the same time, though, they weren't able to make use of that. They lost both Dragon and Herald, so we want to see if eStar can make something happen now.
It's all about this pick here. Death Sentence lands, so Tempered Fate onto 2, but that doesn't line up with CJJ's ulti. Dark Passage taken, Safeguard. They use so much, and Yagao's on the flank. Ulti lands, Lumao flashes over, lands everything themselves, and eStar, you brought hell on this earth in the form of JDG. This fight dumpstered. CJJ in the middle, and like an old man, he too will perish. Forward, flash, way, kicked, Sonic Wave, jungle diff in the making.
Yeah, just amazing fight coming out from JDG. It's like you said, eStar, I mean, trying to find something. Chelsie's ult going a bit too far forward. No one able to follow up on that. But it already even just used a Sleeping Struggle Bubble, so that was on cooldown. No Call of the Forge got to be seen, and JDG just set up in a great position to take that fight, and look, JDG are the first place team. Right now, eStar are sitting at 14th. This was the expected result, but still, great fight coming out from the side of JDG. And look, we see the Sleeping Trouble Bubble on the ground, and we see Call of the Forge God coming out. Really weird timing for that Tempered Fate. Graves' collateral damage also going down, hitting no one. So now eStar's comp have absolutely nothing, and JDG have everything. We see the Cannon Barrage come out, they get the slow on forwards. All the members of JDG now confident to flash in.
Just watching all the bullets fly, like Syndra, the GP keeps shooting pistols, the Aphelios as well with Sonic Wave. A lot of particles to follow.
And as you said right here, kick, wave, Sonic Wave, flash, fight.
And
it was very
cool.
choppy. It was cool. Give a lot of dramatic effects.
And now when we have, I guess, similar compositions, as you pointed out, with minute differences, the Aphelios always comes into question, and how JDG are going to play out the rest of this game seems pretty easy when eStar are on the brink of despair.
Yeah, we're going to see JDG play out through this 1-4 setup as we see where...
Tempered Fate doesn't connect. Loken goes forward. Troll Bubble doesn't connect either, and now those ultis come through without a kill. Zoom just destroys Wei with his ulti.
You know the funny part is that Kanavi, Loken, and Luma all had backed off. So all that damage was just from Yagao's combo and Zoom's ultimate. This goes back to what we were saying about, hey, they can just play through this 1-4 setup. You have the disengage coming from the Lantern. Loken feels able to step forward and play aggressively. And that was a 5v4 right there.
Yep.
JDG still come out ahead.
Because he has an Infinity Edge third. This is Ultraman GP.
Yes, it is.
Zoom giving us flashbacks of what we saw. Do you remember the semi-final versus FPX that led JDG to the grand final versus IG? Was Zoom's Gangplank Game 5, and it was his flank down in the bottom lane that won them the game. And from then on,
the crazy thing to me about their run is the fact that they went on a 3-series lose streak before playoffs.
Yeah.
That split. So no one expecting anything from them.
Imp in the roster, but 4 versus 5, as you said.
And right, that was just all Yagao and Zoom. Wei going a bit too far forward, but great punish coming out from JDG.
And we've got a Baron that's already been used pretty well, but to break the base in 35 seconds. Now on the cards. As they channel up through mid lane.
The thing is, right, JDG's comp isn't all too tanky. We've already said you can only really rely on Death Sentence and the Scatter of the Weak, so it doesn't really have a great way of, let's say, like forcing a dive onto the inhibitor turret to where it goes the opposite way around. You know, you have an Ornn in a Bard, so...
They're running in. Going to pick out Yagao, call the Forge God used this time correctly. Yagao tries to save. It's a good engage from Cannon Barrage in the middle. The kick! Oh no, it's hit the backline and eStars now need to run. Kanavi follows through. It's his magic. It's his journey. And it's Xiaoxi being cornered. Sent to the base packing. And JDG might have what it takes to end this one from here.
Yeah, they're going to keep going forward. Loken right now is massive. Kanavi as well. They're at very least going to get this inhibitor. Nice ult coming out from Rat to try and clear the wave. And JDG making the respectful decision and just backing away.
Even if it doesn't end here, this game feels like it's done at the very least. And every time Zoom ultis, it gets worse and worse for eStar. But that kick, Kanavi's game, boy, oh boy, his Lee Sin needs to be respected.
I mean, me, you, and Dagda talked about this on the last hit, that this split, Kanavi just looks like a different player on the Lee Sin. And even in my notes, I didn't write down Lee Sin for Kanavi's champion pool. I just wrote down Kanavi a second time. It's Kanavi's champ at this point.
Yeah. And the turret goes down. 9K in the bank. And 26 minutes in, JDG with another dominant performance on the Rift. And eStars are trying to get these picks. They're trying.
They even hit a good call to the Forge God this time, too, like to take Lantern into consideration. But there's the kick that you talked about, hitting Wei into 3 members. And now CJJ left in a very awkward position in like a 1v4 scenario. JDG able to clean that one up and pick up an inhibitor off the back of that.
And whether they don't break the base or look for the end now, they've got a Cloud Soul to help them run forward. They've got a Baron again up in 1 minute 30. Everything available. More items online. Zoom almost at 4. Almost 4 for Loken 2. Yagao at 3 coming in.
Has the Spellbinder, so
yes,
again, once he gets that stacked up, just going to be able to enhance and massively burst.
Oh, there's a ward in that brush. Lyric, say goodbye to Rat. It was nice watching him play once again, but Loken's going to kill him. Flashes away. A nice outplay so far, but look, he has Severum. That's the problem. It's a Felios with Severum. Ezreal can't beat that.
True.
And even if he changed to Chakram, faster damage. So there goes your 80 carry for 35 seconds. And JDG are moving through top like a smooth criminal.
Yeah. I mean, now we should expect them to be able to at least have a bit more threat on this turret. Going to be looking for things like the Death Sentence to maybe try and get a pick onto someone.
Well, optimism from Troll Bubble, I like it. The Death Sentence almost connects the Scatter of the Weak.
That was some good damage onto Lumao, though.
Yep. Inhibitor's going to go down. JDG still playing it quite safe. CJJ has his ulti. Tempered Fate misses, but it was a close attempt as that call. The Forge God will lay it down onto 3. Funfa needs the range, though. The advantage you talked about for eStar almost came in handy. As Yagao almost burnt out by Wei. I feel like Zoom with a barrel chain could destroy him though. True Shot Barrage doesn't get him.
And look, we now see, you know, Xiaoxi tried to be cheeky by taking away this Bard pick. But in retrospect, maybe not the right answer. Maybe if you do have one of, if not the cleanest Thresh in LPL, you just go back to the Thresh.
Yeah.
Not saying the Bard pick is why they lost this game. Obviously, again, their comp definitely can go toe-to-toe with what JDG did. JDG obviously just a better team, but to be fair, we also did set the precedent at the beginning of the day that eStar are more looking towards 2021. So maybe goes more in line with that philosophy of just, playing more styles, playing more champions.
Yeah, the development needed after, I'll just say it, their horrible summer split. Because it was horrible. When you make playoffs in your debut split, it's like Dominus. You have those expectations that you will continue to get better as a team, not worse. Even with the roster change, the core components still remain. eStar trying to get a mid-turret, all things considered, in this game. JDG want to get themselves a Cloud Soul, but instead they say, howdy, let's fight. We got a static Shiv GP as this 4th item. Brings back some memories. GP also knows that there is a Baron up this game. And away we go.
I mean, JDG right now could just go pick up Soul, but instead going to go for Baron.
Ticking all the boxes,
I mean, realistically, right, they have 2 inhibitors down. They're not going to lose anything on the map. Like, eStar can't do anything at this point.
You're going to make yourself look good.
Over, but it's over.
This game's over, but not over. You're right. Tempered Fate. That's on to Lumao. You know what? Baron's going to be taken. Could be good. Golden Forge got onto 2. Yagal gets his ulti down, but survives until no. CJJ onto the backline himself. But the problem is now Kanavi's there as well. eStar have found some picks. Loken into his ulti, though, is ready to do this once again. No! eStar felt it, but then Aphelios said, I'm 200 years old.
Again, this is a win condition in its own right. And I mean, that's the game. JDG win.
Well, he is 4 items. But
Yeah,
Severum helps. Severum does
I mean,
help.
let's be honest. They're also 10k gold ahead. He deserves to win.
Yeah. I'm surprised eStar actually got some of the fight, but that's a nice way for them to bow their heads. The 4th team eliminated from Summer in eStar Gaming. They're out of playoff contention. And JDG are now at 12 wins, sitting strong in 1st.
Yeah, JDG are looking extremely promising going into playoffs. And you talked at the beginning of the day